In this episode of the Trend Talk, we talk wine and Celia Cruz is front and center. And we sit with triple threat actress Gabrielle Ruiz. Also, financial expert Eva Macias tells us why good credit makes a man sexy. Hector Padilla also spills the secret on becoming a mega millionaire. Lastly, we talk to the actors of the movie Shine. All that and more on the Trend Talk. Everybody, Bella and I welcome you back to the Trend Talk. We're so happy that you're here with us, and I'm so happy that we've created this platform to talk about interesting topics that we care about, right?
Of course, and that's why we created this show, because it's women who highlight women, and of course, we do need the help of our
men,
executive producer, a few men. There are some good men out there, so we need them as well. But it takes women to understand and address the issues of women, right?
That's right. And although we feel like we've gained a lot of traction, there's still a long way to go. Did you know that 1/4 of the companies that are publicly traded in California and headquartered here do not have a female on their board? To me, that's ridiculous.
And that's horrible. I mean, that it takes women to highlight this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, that's unheard of, that could happen. And so then government gets involved.
That's right.
And sometimes makes laws, right?
Right, like they just passed a law. I'm going to read it because it's legislation SB 826 in California that requires at least 1 woman on boards that have 4 members or less, 2 women on boards of 5 people, and 3 women on boards of 6 people or more. And the companies have 3 years to put this into place, or else they're going to be fined, and you know, who knows what consequences they're going to face. But I applaud them for helping us break that corporate glass ceiling.
Right, and there's companies now that do that, and one of the companies that I'm really excited about, which was Embrazen Wine, because we recently worked with them, and they did something fantastic, not only to promote their wine, which is a really good wine, but also to promote the women.
Right.
They put iconic women on their labels and a little bio, so we know who they are as we enjoy our wine, and we're promoting women.
And you know, women love to drink wine, right?
Yes.
And what better way to embrace women that have paved the way, like Celia Cruz,
right,
like Josephine Baker, who were women of color, and
who
other women.
who are on the label.
They are
yes.
on the label. And I actually got a chance to talk to Patty Montagno of Embrazen Wine and to talk to us about this amazing movement. Take a look.
I am certainly lucky enough to work along so many amazing women. And we were actually chatting after a meeting one day, and we noticed that there's so many wines out there that appear to be targeting women, but do it in a pink washed or floral or submissive way. And that's just not how we see ourselves. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great if we created a wine that really inspired and empowered women at a time when women's voices are so incredibly important? And that's how Embrazen was really born. When we were looking at different trailblazers, these women's stories really spoke to us. When you think about Celia Cruz, and I know that Netflix documentary is out there, and it talks about how she was pushed to be a teacher, but really followed her passion. And gosh, how incredible that she was the most successful Latin artist of the 20th century and achieved 23 gold-selling albums. I mean, what an accomplishment for somebody who was really pushed in a different direction. These wines are from California, and the Chardonnay is absolutely delicious, but also bold, because we wanted Celia Cruz, as well as the other women on our labels, to feel proud to represent the wines in the bottles. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it.
So I love the fact that it has a message and it's delicious too.
Exactly.
Cheers to Embrazen. Well, coming up next, we talk to another amazing woman. Her name is Gabrielle Ruiz from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We have that interview that we did at Latina Fest coming up, so don't go away.
It's important that the stigma that it deteriorates into something that is just a conversation that 1 in 5 Americans already have of some sort of mental illness. I was ashamed of my anxiety.
Los Angeles Times en español. Las noticias más relevantes y la información confiable ahora en español. Análisis de nuestros galardonados periodistas. Noticias de última hora. Transmisiones en vivo y más. Los Angeles Times en español.
We are so excited to have our next guest here. She is a triple threat. She started her career on Broadway, but Hollywood quickly came calling. You probably know her as Valencia in the hit series Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Gabrielle Ruiz, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. So excited to see you ladies.
I am excited to see you. You are a triple threat. Does everybody know what a triple threat is? She can sing, she can act, and she can dance.
Yes, all three, all at the same time, too.
Yes, exactly.
And that's one of the reasons that you're here in Hollywood, because you were in one of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is a creator of Hamilton. Who knows him?
You guys know who that is?
Do you guys know who that is? Well, he had another Broadway show called In the Heights, and you were in that Broadway show.
Yes, I was.
And he recommended you for this part, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about why it was important for you to be, a triple threat for the role of Valencia.
It was such an honor to be able to bring the triple threat skills onto television with such a special show with Rachel Bloom, the creator, and Aline Roche McKenna. And they were looking for people not only that could tell the story, but also sing and act and dance all at the same time. So Rachel and Aline reached out to Lin-Manuel Miranda, as well as Alex Lacamoire, who is the music director for Hamilton and In the Heights, which was my Broadway debut. So I not only auditioned for Lin and Alex, but I worked with them and collaborated with them with a little bit of the Hamilton crew as well, since I know a lot of those cats, is what we say in the industry. And they reached out to Lin and they said, do you know anybody that's a Latina? We have this certain character who needs to be very good at yoga. And that's as much as Valencia as she was in the first season, and they recommended me. And I'm just so honored that he still thinks of me, because not only did he give me my Broadway debut and my huge chance in theater, he also was a big part of my television career.
And that's why it's so important for Latinas to be in the arts and play roles that aren't necessarily stereotypical. For example, Valencia, they never really refer to her ethnicity. It's kind of just known that she's Latina because of her name. And I love that about her, because a lot of Latinos need to see themselves not just in the stereotype ways that we do, but in other roles, as yoga instructors, as girlfriends. And going along with the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend show, I also love the fact that they address mental health, right?
Yes.
Why do you think it's important for mainstream shows like that one to address such a devastating, type of illness?
Yes, I think it's important that the stigma that it deteriorates into something that is just a conversation that 1 in 5 Americans already have of some sort of mental illness. I was ashamed of my anxiety until someone told me that, hey, it's something to deal with. Other people know that and also have it. Let's talk about it. And the fact that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend not only just talks about it, they also portray it through song and dance, which is also a beautiful way to communicate that, hey, this is something that everyone deals with, it's okay, and we'll love you through it. And I think the art form is a beautiful way of helping people deal and cope with themselves.
Were you an actual yoga instructor? Is that how you kind of zen out?
I actually hate yoga.
She's such a great actress.
At all. I consider ballet my yoga. I was first a dancer, always a dancer, and that's where I go to breathe, that's where I go to relax and release my mind from all my worries. And when I was in callbacks, I actually would go to yoga class, and I was like, I gotta know what I'm doing here, and figure out what's some of the vocabulary and the positions. And I've lived with a lot of yogis, is what we call them, and so I called my good friend Sarah, and I was like, okay, walk me through this. And I called my other good girlfriend who was good with Bollywood, and she was trained in Bollywood, and I asked her for a few tips. So a lot of good friends, a lot of good karma, and a lot of YouTubing, I would say, is what helped me book the role.
Well, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is in its last season, and that's sad.
Yes.
But, what are you looking forward to doing that you haven't been able to do? Because it's a really demanding job.
It is. It's been a wonderful gift. It's been a blessing to be able to be a part of this brand new show. It's a satire, but it's also I get to sing and dance, which was my first love. And we're in our 4th and final season. It feels like senior year of college, where all of us know what we're doing, what to bring to the table. We're all there to support each other, but we're also applying for another job, right? So we're looking on the horizon, getting ready for what's next, but at the same time savoring with what we've been able to do together.
But I am sure that you're going to land something really quick because good talent it does that. You know, you go from one series to the other, and I think that with your role, you've been able to show the breadth of your talent.
Thank you so much, and I'm grateful for the creators of the show to give me that chance in Hollywood to just kind of like, I feel like I'm on a freight train with this show and just trying to savor it and be grateful. And my husband and I moved together during all this madness of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We got married and moved across the country. So now we have time to settle, which is nice.
I like that story that you tell. How did you meet your husband?
On Match.com.
You know, I know like 4 women who did that, and they have a great marriage.
Yes. I know a lot of people on a lot of different online dating programs that have a lot of great luck, and it was my 3rd dating website, so you know, tenacity really just
give up after that?
No way. I was ready to find my husband, to find my mate in the world, and it was nice to be humble and to really reprioritize what was really important for me. I put God first, and I put like my family, and was able to just like refocus what I was really looking for in a mate. And it was nice to see it kind of on paper first before I was like kind of just flirtatious and got myself in trouble. So I got lucky.
If there's a Latina that wants to, you know, break into Hollywood, what advice would you give them? Because I'm sure a lot of Latinas are looking up to you, because there's not a lot of Latinas that are doing mainstream, you know, TV shows.
Yes.
So what advice?
I've had advice given to me is you are beautiful just the way God made you. You are beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to change your physical appearance. You don't need to have, if someone tells you to change this, change that, whatever makes you feel happy and your best, there is a team out there that has a role just for you. And if you stick to it, then, and if you had with all your heart and you give gratitude out there, it will come back to you. So I remember that, you know, someone told me something about my nose, that maybe I should, you know, get a change or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't feel ugly. Why are you telling me that it's not good enough? It is good enough. And I stuck with it, and it works out. And I feel beautiful, and everyone around me is, you know, you want to bring that out there. So that's what the mentorship is. So
also the beauty comes from within, and you seem like a very beautiful soul.
Yes.
And so, yes.
Thank you.
We want to thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. I am such a fan. I was telling Gabrielle that I have been, you know, binge watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I can't wait to see what other roles are in store for you, because I'm going to eat them up, because you are such an amazing actress. So
thank you so much.
You really are.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Well, see, that's what you do, is when you find someone that is good as you want to follow them.
Yes.
Wherever you go, and we will all be following her. Actually, on social media, where can we follow you?
Yes, I'm very active on Instagram at Gabrielle Ruiz. Twitter, I love to post things and retweet things on Twitter. And that's kind of about it. I even look at my messages on Instagram. I love it there. Find me there.
Yeah, so get in touch with her. She's open. You know, she's not those kind of actresses like, I don't talk to the peasants.
Do it now.
All right. Well, thanks again, and we wish you much success.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you, Latina Fest.
Not just a one-on-one, right? Besides money, infidelity is another reason why couples split. So imagine having a financial infidelity. You don't want that for your family.
Eva Macias is a leader in the financial industry, and one of her specialties is helping women create an easy-to-follow financial plan in 60 minutes or less. She is also a best-selling author of this book, A Latina's Guide to Money. Thank you for coming, Eva.
Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor.
And you also make finances fun, right?
Absolutely, because we like to spend money. For those that say they don't, let me tell you something. I think that's not real, because why not make it fun?
That's right.
Right?
And money should be fun, but we make it a topic that's difficult to talk about because of everything that comes with it.
Right.
So let's start from the beginning. You just got married,
Yes,
right?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And they say that money is one of the #1 reasons that people get divorced. So when does that conversation between a couple start Like when you just meet someone, I mean, how does the money conversation
You definitely don't want to
begin?
have that when you meet someone, but when there's potential to make sure that maybe you see yourself marrying them. For us, it actually happened after he proposed. We got very intimate because, right, having a conversation with your significant other, whether it's your spouse or even a boyfriend at that time, can be a little intimidating, right? And more than anything, it's vulnerability. I know when we started talking about it, it was being exposed, the vulnerability, the judgment that maybe I thought he was going to judge me for the things I did do or I didn't do. So it was really about intimacy and vulnerability in a different level. And I think that's why we don't talk about it, because of the emotions that come up behind the money.
Right. But that's such an important conversation, because if you don't address it then the monsters will come out later, right? Whether someone has bad credit, whether they're in debt, whether they're, shopaholics. So talk to us about a simple way to have that conversation. Is it literally like sitting down and putting down on paper the assets you have, your bank accounts, your credit score? How do you tackle that?
I think it would be important to have an open, honest conversation of where you see yourself, let's just say in 3 years, in 5 years, as yourself. Maybe you want to open up a business, but your husband's like, I have no idea. I don't want to open up a business. So just having that open conversation like we are right now, that would be number one. And then number two, definitely creating a list of assets, because what happens when one of the partners is no longer there? Right? An unexpected event happens, and then the spouse or whichever one of the spouses, you don't know where to go with all these assets. So it's creating a list. It's really building your estate, building who you are as a team, not just a one-on-one, right? Besides money, infidelity is another reason why people family or couple split. So it's, imagine having a financial infidelity. You don't want that for your family, so why not start talking about it now?
Definitely good tips. Another quick question. Should you ask a boyfriend for their credit score?
We talked about that earlier, right? I think it's important that you get familiar with that, right? Because it's important that you know what you're getting yourself into, because right, it becomes your responsibility as well once you say I do. So it's important that you understand where he or she is. I know with us, we actually did do a credit check before we got married, which it wasn't like, what do you have, what do I have? It was just more of, where do we stand moving forward?
Right. Definitely good tips, good advice. And Eva, if someone wants to take your boot camps or read your book, where can they find you? Where can they, get more information about getting their finances in order?
They can definitely go to my website, evamacias.com, or in my Instagram or Facebook. I'm constantly on Instagram. So Instagram is Eva Macias as well, or just the website. And all my information is there, and they can book an appointment as well.
Awesome. And your book, A Latina's Guide to Money, is available on Amazon, correct?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Eva. All right. We'll see you next time.
Yes, absolutely. We'd love to come back.
We'll be right back with a lot more here on the Trend Talk.
You have to think about, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with chimps, chumps, or champs? So if you're surrounding yourself with chumps that are telling you you can't do it,
we want to welcome Hector Padilla. He is the president of HP Capital Investments, and he's also a member of the Mega Millionaire Club. Whoa. Welcome, Hector, and tell us about that.
Well, number one, thank you, Belle, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Of course. But Mega Millionaire mindset, there's a mindset. I want to get that mindset. What is that mindset?
So, there's always a debate on what's the number one skill that you need to have to become, whether it's a millionaire or a mega millionaire. And that number one skill is your self-talk. It's, what are you telling yourself day in and day out? Are you saying, yes, I can become a millionaire, yes, I can become a multimillionaire, and yes, I can become a mega millionaire? So I would say that the number one skill that you really need to master is your self-talk. What are you telling yourself on a daily basis from the second you get out of bed? And then as the day's progressing, what continues to be your self-talk? Is it doubt? Is it fear? Or is it prosperity?
And for a lot of us, it is that. Oh, we don't even think about it. So you have to think about it, so that if you want to be a millionaire, you have to think about it.
Absolutely. And something else with that, Belle, is I always tell people, you have to think about, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with chimps, chumps, or champs? So if you're surrounding yourself with chumps that are telling you you can't do it, you'll never have a luxury home, you'll never drive a luxury car, then guess what they're doing? They're bringing you down. But if you're surrounding yourself with champs, people that have the luxury home, people that are already thriving, they're going to say, absolutely, you can do it. Right? So they're going to pull you up. They're not going to pull you down.
And this is what you tell your mentees, because you mentor people on how to achieve that mindset, because it does take practice. Sometimes people laugh at us because we say, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire, and then there's laugh. So then people think, oh, I shouldn't say that. But you need to say that. That's what you tell your mentees, right?
Absolutely. It's not just, you gotta really just like bathe in it daily. Remember Zig Ziglar used to say that motivation didn't last very long. And he said, neither does a bath. And that's why he recommends that you do it daily, right? So you gotta pump yourself up. You gotta have that positive self-talk. If you wanna make the big money, you gotta swing for the fences. If you wanna make the Benjamins, you gotta swing. And be surrounded by that positive environment that's gonna pull you up and help you achieve your goals.
And you knew you had that mindset since you were a kid, right?
Well, when I was a kid, I always liked making money because there was always a goal that I wanted. So my first job was washing dishes at the age of 4. And what I wanted my own box of donuts, literally, right? So I had to work to get that box of donuts. But from there, your goals start to raise. So then it was to make 100,000. Then I did that. Then it was to make $1 million. Then I did that. Then it was to make $2 million. So your goals continue to go up and they continue to rise, also depending on your environment.
Right.
So because I was involved with people that were multimillionaires, mega millionaires, that were driving the Rolls Royces, the Bentleys,
And that's
I wanted
what you
the same
wanted,
thing.
and that's what you have. You have a Rolls Royce. Where can people find out about this exciting way of thinking about finances and making money? Where can we find you?
Well, to find me, you can go onto my Instagram, and it's mychairmanhp on Instagram. You can go to my website, which is mychairman.net.
Okay, I'm taking notes because I want that mindset of a champion. And if you want that mindset of a champion, make sure you go and check Hector out. And don't go away because we'll be right back.
And I looked forward to every day hearing that voice. I was like, okay, mi gente, let's do this. You know, every time with that ball of energy, always excited, always.
Los Angeles Times en español. Las noticias más relevantes y la información confiable ahora en español. Análisis de nuestros galardonados periodistas. Noticias de última hora. Transmisiones en vivo y más. Los Angeles Times en español.
We're back. You know, Belle, we've talked about gentrification here on the Trend Talk, and I've noticed that a lot more films and TV shows are also addressing it.
Yes, like that film Shine, which stars Gilbert Saldivar and David Sayas. That film is about familia, it's about salsa dancing, but in the background, it's really about gentrification. Take a look.
Hey guys, this is Yari Tapia from the Trend Talk, and I'm here with Jadi Collado and Gilbert Saldivar from the film Shine.
The film was an incredible experience. It revolves around salsa. We grew up salsa dancers, trained by our father, and then fast forward, we become the salseros of the neighborhood in a sense. We are separated by a tragedy. Myself and my older brother, and then 7 years later we come back together on the opposite sides of gentrification. So throughout there's a lot of amazing salsa dancing, amazing salsa music from like Fania catalog, as well as like Mark Anthony and a bunch of other artists. But basically a story about gentrification and how it pulls people apart, and how it takes family and friends of family to come together to basically find a common ground between gentrification in these neighborhoods that are being split apart.
We just had a little salsa class with Celia Cruz, and that was something else. How was it working with him? He's like a ball of energy.
I loved it. I mean, he's worked with the best of the best. For a long time, he worked with the Mambo Diva Grisel, and I was just so excited. I was like, this guy from Chicago lives in LA, and I looked forward to every day hearing that voice. I was like, okay, mi gente, let's do this. You know, every time with that ball of energy, always excited, always willing to offer that opening, always willing to give more time, more effort, more energy, always to make sure that the product was beautiful. And he's worked with all these elite dancers, and yes, like Gilbert said, to back him up, the dancers, I don't even want to call them backup or featured, because they they are elite in their own right. And it was just incredible to be surrounded by that kind of talent and led by the awesome force of Lyric Cruz with his, "Mi gente, let's do this," every morning.
You guys are young, so what would you give other kids or their future generation? What would you tell them to inspire them, to motivate them?
It's so important for you to not be a one-trick pony in this business. I grew up a ballet folklorico dancer growing up in Houston, Texas, and then I went to college, and I was like, and I was coming from being a Tejano kid, like my Madonna was Selena, you know, and so a couple years later to be on stage with Jennifer Lopez at her first concert in Puerto Rico, I was like, wait, what is happening right now? But I never stuck to one style. I just kept learning and growing, and in your training process, to all the younger dancers out there, allow yourself to step into the unfamiliar, because it is only the unfamiliar that makes you grow and makes you better. In this day and age with social media, a lot of people are this is my thing. This is the kind of dancer that I am. But you don't know how much better of a dancer you can be until you allow yourself to grow.
Thank you so much, Yadi, for that interview. It was so much fun.
She's good.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for joining us on this wonderful episode. We want to thank our guest, and we want to thank you for watching.
That's right. And we want to ask you a favor. Follow us on social media, on the Trend Talk Show, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. We need you. We want you. Follow us if you want to know what's trending, right?
Yes, because you know if it's trending,
we're talking.